So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Starts AQUAMOTION webinar on innovative technologies for water literacy, engaging communities through interactive experiences. So my name is Inês Magosteiro. I'm from Plus Atlantic here in Portugal, one of the partners of this Starts AQUAMOTION project. And we led the activity of water literacy with young people. So just to briefly introduce you about this initiative, AQUAMOTION is an European initiative that brings together art, science, technology, and water management to explore innovative ways and new ways of addressing water-related challenges across Europe. And this project works across different European regions and water basins, and brings together a total of 12 partners from 6 countries. So over the 2 years, the project started last year, in January last year, and over 2 years through so artistic residencies. So we have a total of 25 artists, water innovation labs, exhibitions, educational activities, water literacy activities, stakeholder engagement. This project aims to create new connections between communities, researchers, artists, policymakers, and young people. So today we will focus on one key dimension of the project, the water literacy with young people. And in this session we will explore how virtual reality workshops, museums, and educational institutions can support water literacy, environmental awareness, and public engagement. So the webinar will share the experiences of the water literacy activities implemented in this project that were implemented by MARDIVE Association. These activities were implemented across several countries and water museums and schools in Europe. So this is the agenda for today. In today's session, we will first hear from Giada Tognon from WAMU-NET, who will speak us about the role of interactive technologies and museums in promoting water literacy. And we will then, MARDIVE will present the AQUAMOTION water literacy activities, sharing experience across, as I said, the countries across Europe where these activities were implemented. And finally, we will have space for discussion and questions and comments that you may have. So please feel free to share your comments and thoughts in the chat throughout the webinar. Thank you once again for being here and for joining us. So I think I can, Giada, I think whenever you are ready, you can share your screen.
Yes. So one moment. So, okay. So, you can see my screen?
Yes, yes, you can.
So good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me. So I'm Giada Tognon, and I work with WAMU-NET, the global network of water museums, on the AQUAMOTION project. And today I'd like to talk about something that sits right at the intersection of two things many of us in this room care about, this water literacy and the way interactive technology is reshaping how museums tell stories. So I want to be upfront about my starting point. I'm not an hydrologist or a water scientist. My background is in cultural innovation, so in how museums and cultural and heritage institutions use digital tools to create meaning and engaged audiences. So what I'll share with you today is that perspective applied specifically to water museums, how interactive technologies are changing the way we can engage people, especially younger generations, with water as a cultural and environmental resource. Before I get into water museums specifically, let me give you a quick map of the kinds of interactive technologies museums are working with today, because every example I'll show you draws on one of or more of these. There's the extended reality family. Virtual reality creates immersive environments and allow virtual museums visits and detailed historical reconstruction. Augmented reality enriches the real environment with digital information layered on top of it. And mixed reality combines the two, enabling innovative artistic installation and more advanced interaction. Then there is artificial intelligence, which is transforming heritage by enabling advanced digital conservation, the restoration of damaged artifacts, and stronger public engagement through tools like 3D reconstruction and automated multilingual cataloging. And there are tools specifically built around audience interaction, chatbots offering personalized and interactive assistance to visitors, and even video games are increasingly used by cultural institutions to specifically engage their public, sometimes designed in collaboration with artists themselves. So that's the toolkit. And here, why it matters so specifically for water museums. A painting, a sculpture, an artifact, you can actually show people the real thing. Our water museums almost never can. You can't put the river in the building. What you're left with is always a representation, a photograph, a story, an empty aqueduct. So the quality of that representation isn't a nice extra for a water museum. It's the whole job. The better the tools you have for representing water, the closer you get to actually doing what a museum is supposed to do. Let people encounter the real subject. That's exactly where interactive technologies comes in. Let me start with a simple but important idea. A water museum is a strange kind of museum because its subject, the water, can be put in a glass case. You can't hang on it on a wall. It's everywhere and nowhere at once. In rivers, in aqueducts, in rituals, in the climate crisis itself. That is actually why the Global Network of Water Museums was born. Following a 2017 workshop in Venice, UNESCO formally recognized WAMU-NET in 2018 with the explicit goal of building a shared global knowledge base around water heritage, not a single collection in a single building, but a network of knowledge connecting museums, eco-museums, communities, and territories around the world. Because water can't simply be displayed, it has to be experienced. And that's exactly why interactive technologies and water museums turn out to be such a natural fit. I will share with you some cases. Because water is fluid and dynamic, museum design itself has had to evolve. One of the clearest examples is the Museo dell'Acqua di Siena, opened in 2010 and designed with Studio Azzurro. it combines directly physical experience. Visitor, for example, can actually walk through the historic underground aqueduct system, the Bottini, with multimedia storytelling, including filming testimonies from elderly residents who remember the role water played in daily life. It's a model worth highlighting because it doesn't just display water history, it lets visitors walk inside it, blending physical space with a digital narrative layer. That blend is the foundation for everything that follows. But at the same time, we have to talk about new technologies, but sometimes the most powerful interactive technology isn't virtual at all. It's physical and hands-on. A great example is the Biesbosch Museum Island in the Netherlands, a water museum, a WAMU-NET water museum member. In 2017, they built the Biesbosch Experience, a 30 by 30 meter scale model of the Biesbosch Delta, complete with polders, dikes, and streams. Visitors, of course, including children, can operate sliders and lock themselves, watching in real time as the water level shifts from extremely low to extremely high and seeing exactly how flood defense and water management actually work. It turns a complex hydrological concept into something you can literally get your hands on. That's interactive technology in its simplest, most tactile form, and it's a powerful reminder that water literacy doesn't always need a handset. Sometimes it needs a lever you can pull yourself. But virtual reality at the same time adds another layer, letting visitors step inside systems that are normally invisible or inaccessible. In China, the China Water Museums developed this X3D-based virtual reality experience system specifically to educate the public on water resource and the history of water using real-time 3D rendering and interaction that let visitors explore water systems in a ways that a physical exhibition couldn't achieve. It's a nearly but telling example of how water museums specifically have used virtual reality not for spectacle, but to make hydrological knowledge explorable. But right now, I wanted to get closer to an example that is very close to home for our network. In 2024, at the 10th World Water Forum in Bali, WAMU-NET presented The Voices of Water, an immersive multi-channel video installation created by our director, Heriberto Ulisse, together with video artist Giuseppe La Spada. It brings together 8 case studies of ancient hydro technologies from Morocco, Algeria, Ghana, Iraq, Indonesia, Australia, Peru, and Brazil, ingenious traditional water management system from across the globe. What I find the most relevant here for water literacy is the underlying message. The installation doesn't present all technologies as relics, but uses an immersive multisensory format to make ancestral knowledge feel current and usable for addressing today's water crisis. It has become part of UNESCO Virtual Science Museum platform, meaning that this kind of immersive networked storytelling is accessible globally, well beyond a single event or a single physical space. So, why does any of this matter for engaging communities and younger generations specifically? Because every example I shared, a physical skill model, a virtual reality system, an immersive video installation, share the same underlying idea, turning information into experience. Water literacy isn't built by reading statistics or about scarcity or flood risk. It's built by watching water rise in front of you, by operating a lock with your hands, by stepping into a system you'd otherwise never see. To close, water museums sit at a unique crossroad. They hold some of humanity's oldest relationship with water, and they're increasingly experimenting with interactive tools, old and new, to tell that story to new generation. That, I believe, is exactly the role of interactive technologies can play in promoting water literacy, not replacing the message, but making it impossible to ignore. So thank you very much, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Giada, for your great presentation and for also inspiring presentation. So we will leave the questions and comments for the end. And I think that the main idea that that this presentation tells us is that one of the key messages we can take is that water literacy becomes much more powerful when it moves beyond information and becomes an experience that people can see, touch, explore, question, and remember. And this is a very important bridge to the next part of our webinar. We will now move from Giada's presentation to the concrete experience that we have on the AQUAMOTION water literacy activities. So I will pass the floor to MARDIVE, to Francisca and Miguel. And they will tell us more about the water literacy activities. So whenever you're ready, Francisca.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for your presentation, Giada. I think we cover much of the same topics also in our presentation, especially in the conclusions, but we will get to that. Me and Miguel, I'm going to share the screen. Just let me know when I do, if you can see. Okay. Can you see the screen? The presentation? Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, Miguel was having some trouble with the Teams app. Oops.
Yep. I think I figured it out.
Oh.
The camera was actually crashing my computer, so I had to log in. But I think now it's fine. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me clearly?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, Mia.
Okay. Thank you, Giada, and thank you everyone for being here. I'm Miguel Paes from MARDIVE, coordinator of the Kids Dive VR branch of the Kids Dive educational program that we have at MARDIVE. We are a non-profit association in Portugal, and we'll talk a bit what was our experience. So basically, a little bit about MARDIVE. We are most of all a group of well, not all of us are volunteers, but many of us are volunteers. Others are part of the various projects and educational programs that MARDIVE is involved in. So we are educators, we are researchers, we are university professors, we are, but mostly we are scientists and researchers, and we have a love for communicating science and doing innovative stuff. So we basically Kids Dive VR is is part of a Kids Dive program, and it is a program that was all designed by ourselves. So it's been going for 8 years. So we'll talk a bit about that as well. So MARDIVE has the 3 pillars: science, conservation, and education. So we don't do just education. We also do conservation projects and scientific research. So as consultants, as support for policies and baseline assessments, monitoring, etc. Next slide. And of course we support the implementation of protected areas as well, with surveys, underwater surveys, drone surveys, species identification, building the baseline databases for biodiversity, etc. And this, of course, it's a pipeline of information that it all feeds into our education branch, where Kids Dive where Kids Dive is inserted. So all our research basically serves to feed this the content for our education programs, which is I think an advantage, because we get to really use and communicate and really create useful science that's just not just useful for science, for other scientists and for institutions, but also useful for the general public and for the population. So we've reached with our educational program so far more than I don't even think these numbers are fully updated. So I think it's much more than 5,200 students by now, with over 170 schools, and I think we may be now above 30 scientific projects we're involved in. So we've been busy, so to speak. So basically, the Kids Dive was listed as one of the Ocean Decade activities by UNESCO, and of course, and this is obvious. We cover at least 5 of the Sustainable Development Goals, and it's been the Kids Dive program was born in an academic setting even before MARDIVE. MARDIVE is now 3 years old. Kids Dive is 8 years old, so it started way before MARDIVE was even a thing, but we were there since the beginning. So moving on to AQUAMOTION. Our role was inserted in the work package 1. So coordinated by CoLAB plus Atlantic, and we were tasked with task 1.4, which was our workshops based on Kids Dive VR to promote water literacy with young people by showing basically that the rivers are connected to the ocean. This was the narrative that we were set to build, to show a voyage between where the rivers are born in the spring of the rivers all the way to the ocean, to show these ecosystems. And basically, because we do our own content, so we went to film on with 360 cameras. We went and filmed on several locations in rivers and springs and lakes in Portugal, and a lot of the ocean content and estuarine content that we already had, we used to for this particular objective. So we wanted to promote the understanding of the water ecosystems. We wanted to raise awareness to the fact that pollution because everything is connected, because the river is connected to the ocean, pollution also that starts in the river also ends up in the ocean. So it's a shared responsibility. Water is one resource that's whether you live in a landlocked country or on a coastal area, it's a shared responsibility. And this was our main goal, of course, that this awareness would at least help raise awareness and help people understand that their actions can impact even faraway places. So basically the work plan was to adapt this program to different regions, and we had many meetings, and we decided, because this is a guided, our Giada VR program is mostly a guided experience with a live guide that is present in the room. So it's not a voiceover, and we didn't want to have like AI voiceovers in different languages. That wouldn't be very engaging. So people would be listening to a robot. So we decided in the end we would have locals and local people from schools, from the museums themselves, and volunteers and the museum staff help us with translation. Of course, there were challenges with this, but that's what we decided. I think it was, as we will see, it was a success. I think it was the best option. So I know a little video about what the program is. So essentially, it's in class or in a room and with synchronized viewing. So it's not an individual experience; it's a group experience. So everyone is experiencing the same video at the same time, and hopefully, if things are well calibrated, looking in the same direction. So everyone can like say, "Oh, look left, look right," and they interact, which is part of the experience as well. And people can ask questions, and if they raise their arms as we pause the video, we talk about what we're seeing. This is really the I think what sets apart this program and what we really wanted to have for this experience. So it's mostly not only immersive in terms of video, but also in terms of having a live marine biologist, in this case, 2 marine biologists in the room, ready to answer questions and to interact with. So it's like doing a field trip with a marine biologist, or through real ecosystems, through video, of course. So going quickly through the implementation, we planned on implementing in 4 countries through the water museum, the network of water museums, Portugal, Netherlands, Austria, and Italy, and we ended up also collaborating with Germany, because of course we were very near the border in Austria, and the connections and interactions there are of course very very close. So it was a bonus, and I think it really enriched the whole task. So in Portugal we had in March 5 schools. We also had, of course, the objective was to have young people, but there was also one group of more senior people that were visiting the museum, and we also seized the opportunity to to show them to do the activity with them. I think it was very enriching. Most of them, lots of them had never seen the ocean, so it was really great to see that the joy on their faces as well. So we did 8 sessions and had more than 180 participants. Then in the Netherlands in April, we had mostly, it was more an organic activity where people would walk in. We had like one organized group of scouts, and the school as well, but mostly museum visitors that would walk in the room. And we had the 20-minute sessions, and we had an amazing 211 participant count, which was great. And then in Austria, we had the 2 schools, and this was organized in the school, in the classrooms, and a total of 163 participants in 8 sessions. And now in the beginning of June, we went to Italy, to the Hydro Museum in Marmore. Then we had also a very organic walk-in sessions with museum visitors mostly, and we had 85 participants. So in total, we had we met the 4 countries plus an extra bonus one, and for a total of 47 sessions and 723 participants, which was way above, almost double the number we had as a minimum. So I think it was a success, and we are happy that in such a short notice we were able to get this to these numbers. And here is a little video overview.
The forms there from algae to fish, and then it will be one means travel along the river to closing everything, and then goes to post. That's it. Yeah. So that is a unique kind of fish step. Talking about that. Often. Ja, er zit een zuidvraagstron.
The fish you going away.
This is the flower.
Right.
This thing on his tail.
This definitely the stain got down for the right age temp.
Kan ik gewoon 5 minuten geleden op? Boom. Woo. The fight go out. Get the
Genau, jetzt setzen wir uns oben die Delfin und man sagt festhalten. Da werden dann eine Mama-Delfin sehen mit ihrem Baby.
So it cut off right to but if we to look down to the front of the boat, those are the tough clay. The front of the boat, and then the top is open fish right. They want to. This looking young. It's more than I saw.
Niks! Wann wenn du uns den Bremst, dann gibt's Klatsch.
And so that was it in a really short video. I think it was overall a success, and we had great feedback, and we will see some feedback video in a moment. And I think overall for this project has been a long time coming from personally. It's been like a personal project for 7 years that started with a very, very small resources, and MARDIVE was really the catapult to get this running. And then AQUAMOTION was, of course, another catapult to get this out there and to this many countries. So it was I would, of course, thank everyone that made this possible. And of course, now I will pass the ball to Francisca. Francisca is a coordinator of the KidsDive program, the KidsDive educational program, and she will continue with the program evaluation part and the feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Miguel. Okay, so Miguel has already explained the activities and everything that we did. Obviously, it's very hard to explain without trying, but I think we made the important points. Besides doing the activities, we also did the program evaluation. So instead of trying to see if people enjoyed and asking them if they liked the activity, we did some questionnaires. And we did a questionnaire before the activity, then they did the activity, and then after the activity, the same questionnaire with just one difference that I will show. But this is a way that we have to compare the responses of the participants before the experience and after the experience to see if they had any changes in their perception. So we evaluated three main groups. So we evaluated knowledge, which is basically how they understand what ocean is, what the river is, if they are connected, what is an healthy river or an healthy ocean. We also did environmental perception, basically to understand how they, when they look into their river, what do they see, if it's a positive thing or if it's like a negative thing. And the behavior intention, because it's very, very hard to measure behavioral change. So it's behavioral intention, it's different. So it's their intention to take part of a more sustainable lifestyle, the actions that they say that they will start doing after the experience. And the behavior intention, we only ask on the after the activity questionnaire. So the first two groups we have in the before the activity and after the activity, and the behavior intention is only after the activity. I will show the questionnaires in a minute so you have a better idea. We did this with questions. So knowledge, we had 2 questions. And then we had the environmental perception. They looked into a picture of the closest river that they had to them, and they had to choose some words to describe that river. And these 2 parts we had on the before and on the after. And then only on the after, we had the behavioral intention. So after this experience, what will you start doing to help the rivers and to help the ocean? And they had a list of things to choose from. And we can see what they are willing to start doing now that they understand better, that they have better knowledge. So we are still doing the data analysis, so it's still a work in progress, and we have 252 questionnaires. So it's 252 blocks of before and after questionnaires. This is an example of the questions that we had. I will show you the questionnaires in a minute too. So basically, we were trying to understand if they learned anything, if their knowledge changed, if they knew a lot before they did the activity, or if they didn't know that much, and how was their knowledge after the activity. See how their environmental perception changed or not, if they have more behavioral intentions, if they are going to start doing something to help the river and the ocean. And then the overall effectiveness of the KidsDive VR program. The results of everything that we are analyzing will contribute to the final water literacy report. So this is some examples, because we have not finished doing all the analysis yet. We decided to bring you some examples of things that can change from the before KidsDive activity and after the VR activity. So you have some questions here, like, for example, can pollution in a river reach the ocean? And the student before the activity said that it cannot. And after the activity, the same student said that, yes, it can. So we can see some change in knowledge here. We can also see a slight change in the perception, but this is more noticeable on another one that I have here. This one. The two words they chose to describe the river before the activity, they said it was beautiful and boring. And this is in a using perspective, like a human using of the river perspective. And after the activity, they had a more eco-friendly view of the river. So they understand that it's full of life and that it's natural. So it's beautiful for me to look at, and it's boring that when I'm there. But it's important because it is important and not because it's useful for me. And this is a very good change that we like to see. And this is some examples of the fourth question, which is, again, only in the after Kids Dive activity questionnaire. So this is only asked after the activities. And it's the one that they choose some behavior that they will start to do to help the rivers and the oceans. And you have different answers. The most common ones are the pick up the litter, and the first one, which is to save water. So it's like direct actions that they can do. We also have a lot of this, not remove stones or plants from the river, and learn more about rivers and animals, and also share what I learned today, which is also very important because our impact, we had a big impact for 700 students, but good knowledge is shared knowledge. So the more they talk about it, the more they tell their friends and family, the better. So this evaluation in 3 blocks that we did, basically what we can understand is, are they learning new concepts? Did they understand what we wanted to show them? Did they understand that the river and the ocean are connected? Do they understand why it's important, why they should be healthy, why we should be aware to the state, and why it should matter for us to have healthy rivers and healthy oceans? And in action, what can we do about it? What can we do to keep them healthy and to keep them safe for us and for our species? So now I will show you some participants' feedback from the museums that we went. I will put the video.
Hi, everybody. This is Karen, and I'm from the Enganging Danube world in Upper Austria. Our museum is a member of the Global Network of Water Museums, and we were very happy to be part of the Kids Dive project. Some of our pupils from the elementary and middle school in St. Giedi took part in this project, and they had a lot of fun during the project. So unfortunately, I cannot join the webinar on the 29th of June. So I was asked to answer 2 questions about the Kids Dive project. One was, what role can interactive technologies and VR play in water museum education and public engagement? I think that interactive technologies and VRs can significantly enhance water museum education by making complex water-related topics more engaging, immersive, and accessible. So overall, interactive technologies and VR transform visitors from observers into participants, helping them better understand water challenges and solutions. So, and the second question was, why is collaboration between water museums, education, and innovation projects important? So I think collaboration among water museums, educational institutions, and innovation projects strengthens both learning and social impact. Most of the important benefits include connecting research with the public, improve educational quality, promote innovation awareness, and encouraging interdisciplinary learning. is also important, for increasing the community participation. So in summary, collaboration enables water museums to become dynamic hubs between education, scientific knowledge, technological innovation, and public participation. They come together to foster greater understanding and responsible management of water resources. So that was my message from Enganging. Goodbye and have fun.
Mary, what did you enjoy the most about the activity?
I liked the VR classes the best because it was an amazing experience. I have never done that before. Swimming with the fishes was something I have always wanted to do.
Georgie, what new thing did you learn about water, rivers, oceans, or the environment?
I didn't know that paper mills pollute our rivers so much. It's also unbelievable that it flows all the way to the ocean. The Donau near me is so clear that it was shocking for me. There are dirty rivers elsewhere.
How did students react to the VR and interactive experience? I think the pupils were very fascinated by the VR experience, and most of them never did that before. Many ohs and ahs went around the room during the VR video. The second question, what impact do you think this experience may have on students' environmental awareness or behaviors? They for sure told their parents about the experience, even maybe their grandparents and so on. And they were very shocked about the pollution humans are causing. And I'm certain they keep an eye on their behavior in nature and think about the outcome of their actings. For example, that they are going to take the trash home again after hiking and so on.
Hello, everybody. I'm Esther Metteny. I'm director of the Dutch Water Museum in Arnhem. We've had the pleasure of hosting a VR experience from AQUAMOTION. It was very interesting experience for us. Also quite an experiment because we've never had a VR experience, VR play before. So for us, it was a way of testing how this interaction would be for our visitors. And I think it was very, very wonderful, very interesting because of the interaction it had on our visitors among themselves and with the people who guided the VR play. So for us, regular visitors are adults, parents mostly, with young children. And the VR play was a way of interesting also young adults to our museum. And that worked pretty good, actually. So we are happy with that experience. And we will take that in the future for other opportunities. What also was very interesting is that the people from AQUAMOTION were there to help, to assist, to talk visitors through the VR play. And that was very helpful because it also was a way of promoting or stimulating the interaction between visitors and talk about what they were seeing and experiencing. And that was very, very nice to see how that worked and what it did to people. We've had visitors from every age that tried it and were not hesitant to try it. They were very curious about the VR play and going underwater and experiencing that. So it was a very, very beautiful addition to our regular exposition. And I think in that way, that's exactly what interactives and VR can add to our museum, and also help educate people in regards to the theme of water. So I would very be interested in doing it more often. And I also believe that in adding that to our regular exhibition in temporary methods or in temporary projects is very interesting, because that gives a sense of urgency to people to come to the museum, because the VR experience is only available for example, that weekend or that week or whatever. And we need that extra sense of urgency for people to come. So it provides an opportunity to address a new audience, young adults. They are interested in VR play, and it also helps to have a conversation piece, as you will. So that's a bonus, I would say, and I'm always looking for opportunities to help that interaction between visitors. And in regards to what role or why is it important for museums to help navigate education and science, I think it's very good that we are like a linking pin between science and the general public. And I think it's very good that we really play that role, and also that we educate people in all kinds of ways of thinking about, for us, the theme of water. So yes, museums play an important role, and interactives and VR play can really help in that way.
Okay, now, as usual, I'm already running late, so I'll try to make this really quick. Basically, we learned that, as Giada also said, virtual reality is really helpful to help engaging people into the museums and engaging them into particular knowledge that can sometimes be a bit harder to understand, some more complex themes, and it helps people understand it better. This experimental learning, technology education, combined with the museum exhibitions, traditional exhibitions, also works really well. We were able to do this in a flexible format that allowed us to implement the program in different countries, different water museums, different contexts, ages, audiences. And we noted that the fun part of this, the VR activities, the curiosity and the enthusiasm that we get from little kids to adults to seniors, it's the same. So it's a good tool to help carry the knowledge and to help carry the ecosystem worries that we have, and all the problems that we have, and all the solutions that we need to help our planet. We had some challenges, but mostly it was the fact that we had like a short implementation period. So this led to a little bit more complications into getting school groups because of the school schedules. And this then also made us have to do smaller sessions, which also meant that we didn't have a lot of time for the inquiries. So the inquiries also had to be quite simple, and they would have to be universally applicable to different ages and different countries. Also, the language was a little bit of a barrier at sometimes. You saw in the video before, sometimes we had the museum people and volunteers help us doing the translation, especially for younger kids. But in different countries, this was more or less of a problem. what we take from this, that if we had more time to make everything happen with the museums and the schools and even with us, this would have been more smooth. This took a lot of work from also the part of the museums and from everyone that we spoke to arrange our visits there. And we are very thankful for that we managed to get everything done. It would be good to have some local museums or educators or teachers to help deliver the workshop and to help us with the translation during the activities. So basically what we have to say is the same that Giada already said. Our program showed that these technologies can be integrated into museum education, not to replace traditional exhibitions, but to enhance them and to enhance museum education. And this will help create more meaningful, memorable, and engaging learning experiences for the public and for everyone that visits the museum, also inspires curiosity and promotes positive environmental action from what we've seen and from our experience. Okay, then we have a video to show you, but I think we'll leave it for the end if you want to, because we are already on a tight schedule. I would like to thank everyone for being here today. I would like to also thank Plus Atlantic that made all this happen and had our backs for the VR activities. And also the museum representatives. I've seen Annalo somewhere around here. I would like to thank everyone. Annalo's helped us with the organizing everything in the Holland Museum. So without them, this would have been impossible. So thank you, everyone. Follow our social media if you are interested, and go check our website and send us an email if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Francisca and Miguel, for this presentation and this overall view of the water literacy activities that you implemented. And I think we all agree that the impact was immense and more than 700 people engaged. And it was also amazing to see the reactions of the kids and what they experienced and the changes in perception also before and after the activities. So I'm very sorry that it's already past 11, but please, I think there is room for one or two questions or comments that you may have for MARDIVE or for Giada. If you have something to say or to comment here in the chat. Let's just see if. Okay, so I hope you all learned from this webinar, and I think it was. We are very happy with the outcomes of these water literacy activities. And I think overall this webinar has shown that water literacy is much more than learning facts and information about water in the ocean and rivers. It is about creating experiences that help people understand and feel and question their relationship with water. So we have seen how important the roles of museums, schools, and interactive technologies can play in this process. So I think thank you everyone for being here and for your availability. Francisca, I don't know if you want to show the video, but I think maybe we are out of time. So I think I will close the webinar. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye.